I kind of define grace as, well, I don't kind of, I do define grace as showing yourself compassion right where you are right now.
That's
And
perfect.
because we're always going to wish more, want more, be better, do better. I mean,
Right.
all these things in our mind, I call it the Pinterest mentality where, we all want our cupcakes to look like butterflies and ladybugs, but, sometimes it looked like, you threw it against the wall and stepped on it and then had, ate it anyway. But it's like we have this idea of perfection. We have this
hmm
idea of, like the term should. I hate it with everything in me.
I agree. And explain why, because I know I've taken that word out. I've taken that word out of my vocabulary. And I know what you're talking about. So explain that, because that's really good.
It's an expectation that we put on ourselves.
hmm
You know, it's like I should be able to do this. Really? Says who?
hmm
I should, you know,
I should
I
have
should
done
be
this, or I should have done
stronger.
that too. Right. Talking
Yeah,
about the
or then
past.
you hit a rough season and you think I should be stronger. I should be able to balance, my marriage, my kids, my parents, my business, you know,
Yes.
everyone else is doing it. Look at Facebook.
Right. 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 Because that's real. That's reality.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, because you look and you think, wow, look at them. They're having fun. They're going to,
hmm
on vacations and they're doing this. And, you're standing in your kitchen with tears streaming down your face, fighting with
Yeah.
your husband and your kid and trying to figure out how to get, you know, through that day, much less trying to figure out how to pack for a vacation. It's like there's reality outside of should.
Correct. Yes. Yes. And should keeps you stuck.
hmm
Because when I first started learning about the word should and not using it, I use it a lot for my past. Gosh, I should have known that. That was my famous one. I should have known that, because I grew up with this mentality that, and how I was raised, and part of my abuse was I wasn't taught. Well, you should have known that. And so I carried that into my adult life. And so I was so hard on myself, because everything, well, I should have known that. I should have known that, and was so hard on myself. And it took me a long time until I heard about, I learned about the word should and not using it. And you're replacing it with grace.
Yeah. It's a preconceived notion that we got from like you mentioned, your childhood
hmm
experiences decide how you go into your adult. You're still a little kid inside an adult body thinking the same way you did when you were a little kid. If you don't
Yep.
change that way of thinking,
Correct.
you'll think that way forever.
hmm hmm
There are people that are still going, they turn to substances and other stuff because they
They want
cannot
to shut that down.
circumstances and what they think they should be.
hmm
And it's like, no, grace is all about right where you are right now,
hmm
in all your
hmm
brokenness, in all your yuckiness. I did a live video this morning and I said, sometimes your day is full of poop. And
hmm
like you don't know, it's not exactly the prettiest way to say it, but sometimes you don't know how to deal with all that's coming at you.
You get overwhelmed.
Yes, and you get
hmm
overwhelmed. And the thing is you don't have to know how. You don't have to know how. You just have to, first step, I always tell people, first thing I want you to do is just stop and take a breath.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah.
Stop and take a breath. I remember my
hmm
daughter-in-law years ago was like talking to me and she was like, da, 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 da. I said, well, hold on.
Yeah.
I said, wait a minute, just stop right where you are. Just take a deep breath for me. And she
hmm
took a deep breath and I said, are you okay right in this moment? Like, are you okay right now? Are you safe? Are you, and I went through, are
Yeah.
you safe? Are you, and she says, yeah. And I said, okay, so this moment is, you're okay. Let's step into the next one now and see if we can figure out what we need to do to move forward. You know,
hmm
and I didn't realize at the time I was talking about grace.
You're given the description of grace,
Yeah.
and what I see this as, and I thought this was such a great comment someone made to me and it stuck with me, is, when we're supposed to know this, or we're judging ourselves, right? And what you're doing with the grace is you're opening up the door for curiosity. And so replacing judgment with curiosity is so much easier to work with. And it opens the door where judgment, or the supposed to, like I said, shuts you down.